When we're talking about where the different parts of cellular respiration take place, we have two major locations inside the cell that we need to refer to. We have the cytoplasm, and then we also have the mitochondria and the various compartments inside the mitochondria. Glycolysis is where this whole process is going to start, and this is going to take place in the cytoplasm. All of the parts of glycolysis then would take place inside the cytoplasm, and this is going to include things such as the hydrolysis of ATP, because glycolysis does require the use or the input of ATP. Once we finish glycolysis, the end product, pyruvate, that's going to be transported into the matrix of the mitochondria. And when the pyruvate is transported into the matrix, we're going to have the decarboxylation of the pyruvate. So when that happens, we're going to actually remove some carbon dioxide. So there would be some carbon dioxide generated, but this is going to happen inside the interior compartment of the mitochondria. So that's going to happen inside the matrix. We are also going to reduce some NAD plus to NADH. And that step is also called the oxidation of pyruvate. So the oxidation of pyruvate is really happening inside the matrix and more, so it's not happening in the intermembrane space, and it's not happening in the cytoplasm. It's happening when we transport it across the two membranes of the mitochondria. Once we have it, the remaining product of it, which is going to be called acetyl-CoA, once we have that in the matrix, then in the matrix is where we're going to see that acetyl-CoA go through the Krebs cycle or the TCA cycle. So that cycle is going to take place inside the matrix, and everything that's associated with the TCA cycle is also going to happen in the matrix. So this would include the generation of more carbon dioxide. We're going to see the reduction of FAD, some reduction of NAD+. We would also see the making of some ATP. So the synthesis of some ATP would take place there. And after we finish the TCA cycle, we're going to have the third stage of cellular respiration, which is going to be the oxidative phosphorylation. All of that stage is going to take place on this inner membrane of the mitochondria. So all of your electron transport chain will be embedded in the inner membrane of the mitochondria. And previously, you reduced the NAD+. Well, now the NADH, which you now have, is going to get oxidized. That oxidation is still going to happen on the side of the matrix. Okay, so we will be oxidizing that in the matrix. So NAD plus NADH is oxidized and reduced in the matrix. Other things that would happen there is we are going to be generating some ATP. So the ATP is going to get synthesized by chemiosmosis in the matrix. And we're also going to be producing the oxygen, or utilizing the oxygen in the matrix. So the oxygen is going to get reduced at the same time. So for this question that you're asking about, the ones that you missed on this question were regeneration of the oxaloacetate. Well, oxaloacetate is a product and also a reactant of the citric acid cycle, or TCA cycle. So that is something that's going to take place in the matrix of the mitochondria, because again, the TCA cycle is specifically in the matrix, and anything that's produced or utilized by that cycle would occur in the matrix. And then the other question that you missed was the hydrolysis of ATP and where that is actually occurring. Hydrolysis of ATP would indicate that the ATP is being utilized. So the energy in the ATP is being utilized, and the only part of cellular respiration that requires an input of energy is going to be glycolysis. So when we're talking about hydrolyzing ATP, that is going to happen in the cytoplasm because glycolysis takes place in the cytoplasm.